Right, what you saying?
Yes, it's a joy for the reasoning all the time. What they say, man?
No, seriously. It's not funny still, but seriously. I want to discuss this this notion that's circulating in regards to the angry black woman, right? The angry, independent, strong black woman. And before we even get into that, right? I was doing to Percy Sledge.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but when a man loves a woman.
When a man loves a woman.
No, a serious thing, right? So within that song, that's a great psychological lesson because that man is so deeply in love that he can't see any bad in that woman, regardless of what she does, right?
Blinded by the physical beauty.
All right. But at the same time now, if you flip it, people are blinded by their prejudice and their stereotypes. True. And they see what they want to see and they see the narrative that they're given. And I feel that is the source of this whole thing with the black woman and this angry narrative, because we see it all the time in the media. Yes, you may see it in society, right? But I don't think you see it on a higher level than you do in other particular groups, based on my experience. Maybe, this in my daily life, women from all cultures, you have those with a pleasant demeanor, you have those with an unpleasant demeanor. My granny told me a long time, you have a lot of people in life, people who never adjusted to life.
True.
And that's in regards to all cultures, right? But in regards to the black woman now, it's a vibe where is that what I noticed in America as a person of African descent is that you're really supposed to be on some Sambo vibe, like smiling and just have this pleasant demeanor all the time. And our environment doesn't really, that's not the byproduct of our environment. Some of us live in very harsh environments and it's very hard to thrive in this environment. So therefore, maybe you're not smiling all the time, and when you don't, they take it as aggression, especially when it comes to African American women,
And that man, the oppressor want you laugh with them and beat the same way. So it's like just like when we used to grow up. Not when we would even classify the parent them as oppressor, but them have the oppressor type of mentality sometimes growing up to poor people. But a parent beat you and to ask you where you cry for. But if you beat a child and ask a child where them cry for. At the same type of mentality, you see white people come with nowhere. They must say, oh, look at that black lady. She's always complaining. She's always crying about this. Its system is not that harsh. Of course, you can live here and you can live here and be comfortable with your family. But then I realize that they're on a different economical ladder too, because the system they don't set for them. They don't benefit from oppression.
And support system,
All right, so it's like them not gonna get it, but then when you complain now and when you start laugh and you get red from them now, it's like you just are the person who is bad. Automatically now them see you as the aggressor. We're not realizing that even though they have their passive ways and their psychological battles, they are the ones who are oppressing you.
Big time. Then the next thing that goes on is that I guess the sick part of the whole narrative is that they present it as if it's the black woman who's the only one who has or demonstrates characteristics that people don't view as pleasant. But it's all women from all culture that have that vibe, Because you talk to any man from any culture, you can have a complaint about a particular woman. But he's not generalizing the culture. People just need to have a better understanding in regards to what black women go through,
True.
How they express themselves. A lot of people, as we've spoken before, victims of sexual abuse, victims of physical abuse. So they put up all these walls to protect themselves from hurt. And when they put up these walls, it comes off as like a FU vibe. But that's not necessarily the case. And when you get to know them, they're very pleasant. That's like with a lot of people, due to trauma, they put up these walls and this and that. I may have certain walls that people a little blocker. You get what I'm saying? But when
because I past experience.
Yeah. But when you get through that, and it's a double standard in regards to behavior and attitude, because I hear people speak about black women being approachable. How much black men are approachable? I see men all the time. You try to link a bridge and tell them hi and they have a vibe.
Yeah, blessings.
You get what I'm saying?
I know one of the main things we overlook too. I feel like what I say on a regular is that the way the systematic oppression is deep is like, for example, a man would come home and he was oppressed at work or whatnot, and because he felt vulnerable or felt like he was too much of a subordinate at work now, while in the household now, him trying best to put up some type of a macho stance so him can replace and still feel a manhood, and then because his woman is not giving into that, then automatically now you find some type of differentiation start now and the disagreement seem like it escalate now. So it's like vice versa now. Just like how a man need to understand the place where a woman is at based on what has happened to her in the past. A woman now need to understand what is taking place currently with the male figure, and then see how we can go and try break all of the little stereotype of
and build a vibe,
angry that and build some form of relationship. So the competition aspect, because really and truly in a modern day, it's very hard for a man and a woman sit down and have a discussion and realize them can build up on certain things, because the stereotype doesn't have the head, because you hear most women say, no, I saw man stay, a man say, I saw woman stay, and then there's no form of thing beyond that, No,
reality, and I'm glad you brought up that point, because in my experience, women have been more outspoken than men. True. The men may talk slick behind doors, especially when it comes to interacting with white people. I see the women have more courage to tell them the real deal than the men. The men may say it amongst each other, but when it comes to dealing with white people, they don't have that type of vibration, And there's numerous reasons for that. And it's like, it seems like the woman is being penalized for having more courage than the man in a lot of different aspects. And I want to clear up this too, man. We're not saying that there are not negative behaviors out there, because there are a lot of women who conduct themselves and kind of perpetuate that stereotype. But a lot of that stereotype comes from the media and the Hollywood. And we need to burn out African-American people who help spread that image. That negative
image, yes.
Regards to the men, I'm preying certain things, yo. Now, some women that's totally distorted with this independent thing, and they take it to one different vibe, an unhealthy realm. But I notice a lot of men can't deal with a progressive woman now. They can't deal with an intellectual woman. They can't deal with a woman a substance. They can't deal with a woman of principle. They can't deal with a woman with no standards, because this is what happens when she has those things. Obviously, she try to give you a push to lift you up so you're on the same level, and they don't want to deal with that.
But I want to lie, say, in this modern day, me hear man still make the talk, say, female woman can make more money than him. So if your woman make more money than you, that automatically lower your whole self-esteem and lower your manhood. It's like it's so ridiculous. So it's like a strict competition, and it's like if a woman is striving and a woman is rising and being extremely progressive, it's like it's offensive to certain men. I don't realize where them get the thought from.
Yeah, I think that's really the vibe that's where the whole strong aspect comes that's offensive to people, right? Because for instance now, right? If you have a female who's studying and doing her thing and really focused, a lot of men are offended by that.
Yeah.
They really are, and they start to get negative characteristics when that's not really the case. It's just that they try and deal with progress. So I think the question has to be in regards to, are the women angry or independent, or are people just offended by them being progressive? We're not talking about full-blown ignorance fire. We're not talking about that, because we have that. We want to clarify that, because you have that in every culture. Because what happens sometimes is I could be on the public transportation, right? And I see if a person who's suffering, a Caucasian person who's suffering from a meth addiction, right? And they carrying on and behaving a certain way. I don't identify I don't generalize all white people based on that experience with that particular person. There are other white people on the train. Just the same thing. If a black person's loud on the train, or a lady's loud on the bus, there are other black people on there who are not loud. But they just want to, because you have that prejudice and because you've been fed that narrative now, it's they're going right there. But that's not the case. So it's a certain level of ignorance that goes in perpetuating these different stereotypes on both sides. Because black people
At the same way, or white people get offended when especially the blondies, them when you say all blondies are dumb, But remember, say them that it's still portraying at the media, but them always want to dispel that full frame of thought, But whenever them throw around the narrative, say all black women angry, is like we supposed to just agree with it without giving up any form of fight. As we say, them never acknowledge the women them who try to preserve the culture. The women them who try to take a stance and make us be exemplary to the black culture, but them just want to highlight some woman who out of control.
Thank you for watching I Never Knew TV. Please subscribe, comment, like, and